Hi, good morning. So I want you to think about today when you went out and bought yourself a coffee this morning. I want you to think about the journey that your payment went on as soon as you tapped your card or you swiped your card on the POS machine. What happened with that payments data? We went through multiple different actors. So basically that data went to your issuing bank, so let's say like Chase Bank. It went to the network that's printed on your card, MasterCard or Visa, and it's also gone through a processor. A lot of complex payments data exists off the back of that, and each one of those organizations has a different version of that event. So we here at Kani Payments, we provide a reconciliation and reporting platform that helps each one of those actors to have compliance, to have validation of their data, and to have insightful reports of what they can see with their information. So my colleague Priya will now demonstrate how the Kani platform works.
Great, thank you so much, Mark. So the journey really starts off at the dashboard, which is what we can see here. Now we want to know, did all of our data load in correctly? Were there any failures? And we want that information flagged up immediately, and that's what we're looking at here on the first section. We've got the ability to set up notifications from the dashboard, so it means easy user access right from the dashboard. We can even view reporting directly from the dashboard as well. So if I wanted to see a more comprehensive detail around the data that's coming in, I can drill into my file status report just over here. So we've got really easy drill-throughs directly from the dashboard. And the idea is that we want to make that user experience as seamless as possible. Now, I'm also interested in the cases that are assigned to me. What are my work items for today? And how are they prioritized as well? So we've got that information summarized just over here. We can see priorities, and we can see what the cases look like per reconciliation. Now, lastly, I want to see an overview of the outstanding items by reconciliation. So we've got the various different types of reconciliations just over here, and if I expand that a little bit further, we can see that information right from our dashboard expanded and more detailed. And this particular chart is a favorite of mine. So it's showing what is outstanding by the amounts and by the record counts. So I can make an informed decision around how I'm going to investigate my reconciliations as well. Now, something else to help me is this summary just over here at the bottom. We've got that concept of prioritization again, and this is based on the amount. So we can see what is high priority down to our lowest priorities. Now, these dashboards are configurable. We're just showing you one view of information, but of course, users can customize this down to their preferences. So let's dive in and take a look at just my cases, what's assigned to me today, and I'm just going to drill into one of my reconciliations. So we're just looking at one reconciliation for this example, the comparison of processor data to network data. And this is our settlements. Now, we've got an aggregated balance view just over here, so we can see that information really aggregated. And what I'm immediately drawn to is this column over here. So it's telling me automatically what has been reconciled and what is yet still to be worked on. So I know I'm going to be looking at anything that is unreconciled here, that's highlighted in red. And more importantly, I've got my cases that I was interested in. So I can click into my case manager, and I can see all three of these cases just over here. And what I can even do, I can add some commentary, I can attach documentation, and this is all around making that investigation as visible as possible for other users to use as well. So let's dive in and actually look at some of the underlying data. So if I click into this, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to see all of those transactions that make up those balances just over there. So this is showing us the underlying information in a transactional view. And what's particularly important here is we've got a concept of labeling. So we identify the various different issues for why that transaction didn't match up. So maybe the data didn't come in from the processor, or maybe there's actually a duplicate. So various different reasons we identify just over here. Now, we've actually got over 20 out-of-the-box reports. And what's powerful about that is that it requires very little implementation time. So I'm just going to drill into one of these. So these are my portfolio analytics. And this is just looking at our networks. And we've just picked a couple. We've got MasterCard and Visa here. So it's normalizing that data in a single currency, and it's showing you that information here, all aggregated into a report. So before I actually talk about this report, I just want to actually drill into this map here. So we've got a regional map. So in fact, if I click into North America, what I will see here is that my report is going to reflect that information around North America only. So you see that's all actually updating in real time. So I can actually see what my authorization approval rate is. I can see a currency breakdown. I can see the various transaction types. And I can even see whether it's been authenticated or not as well. So we've got a lot of analytics here, so you can actually see that very comprehensive view of information summarized in a single report just over here. So that's just one of our many 20 out-of-the-box reports, and this is, of course, growing. And that's something that we follow throughout Kani, which is having the ability to have something templated so it requires very minimal implementation time. We want to make that uplift as minimal as possible. So that brings us to the end of the demonstration. Over to you, Mark.
Yes, so Priya, that's very comprehensive, but what exactly are the key benefits for Kani customers?
Absolutely. So I just want you to take away 4 key points. So at the core, we are a reconciliation tool. So we don't just do reconciliations, we actually specialize in payments. So that's where our expertise lies. We've got industry experts that have lived and breathed all of these pain points. Secondly is that compliance element. So we do the QMR for MasterCard, we do the GOC for Visa, we do Apple reporting. So we understand those compliance reports that are required at various different points. Thirdly, one that I didn't show you here is the ability to score processor data. We identify those culprits who essentially don't have the best data integrity. And lastly is that reporting. We've got many, many reports that are, of course, out of the box, and we can create those bespoke. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to myself and Mark here today. I hope that's been very useful. And if there are any questions, please feel free to come over to us.